Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Kofuzi and I'm a runner based out of Chicago, and the Chicago Marathon goes right by my house, and this year will be the 4th time that I get to run the Chicago Marathon. And in this video, what I wanted to do is give you my tips to make sure that you get the most out of your Chicago Marathon weekend. But first, let's go for a quick run. 6.65 miles, 8 minutes, 40 seconds per mile, 131 beats per minute today. Going for a nice and easy run with a couple of strides thrown in there along the lakefront in Chicago. We're deep into the taper now for the Chicago Marathon, and I'm feeling good. Have a couple of phantom pains that just suddenly surface at the end of the run, but I'm sure they'll be gone by tomorrow, only to be, of course, replaced by new phantom pains. But that's kind of how it goes, right? During the taper. We'll get through it. We'll get to Marathon Weekend. And it's quickly approaching. So what I wanted to make sure I got done today is make a video that kind of let you guys know about some of the new stuff that's happening this year that's different from other years if you have run the race before or if it's been a while since you've run the race. And I also wanted to go over some of the additional ancillary events that are happening in Chicago that are not necessarily directly affiliated with the Chicago Marathon that make part of this entire weekend exactly what it is for us Chicagoans. So I'm going to tell you all about the different events, places you can go, and the tips that I've accumulated over my years of running this event. But first, I do want to go over some disclosures. No one is paying me to make this video or paying to get included in this video. This is just stuff that I'm interested in, or I'm hosting, or other events that I'm going to be attending, and I wanted to tell you guys about it too. So first, let's start off with the expo. The expo is going to be a little bit different this year because of COVID precautions. Everyone that attends the expo is going to need to either show proof of vaccination or a negative test with a date later than October 7th. And that includes people that aren't running the race but want to attend the expo, including children. Children still can go to the expo, but they are going to have a negative test as well. Once you show that and it's accepted, they're going to give you a wristband that you're going to have to keep on for the rest of the entire weekend. And that's going to be your ticket to get into kind of everything else from that point in. Expo is this year Friday from 9 to 8 p.m. and then Saturday 9 to 6 p.m. And everyone has to pick up their own bib. As far as I know, there's no way to send someone else to get the bib for you. And I think primarily that's because of the vaccination requirement that the Chicago Marathon's going to have this year. They want to make sure that everyone gets their own bib and everyone goes through that verification or negative test verification process. Another thing about the expo this year that's very different and possibly related to the COVID stuff is that both Nike and the marathon itself had indicated that the official marathon gear is not going to be fully available at the expo. Normally they have the biggest kind of floor space at the expo, and you can get everything that you want there. The lines usually get really super long, but you can kind of get everything at the expo. This year they've already forecasted they're not going to have enough stuff for everyone, or they're not going to have some of the stuff because it's not going to arrive on time. I'm not exactly sure what the situation, but they've been saying what you should do is either order it online ahead of time or order it through the local running retail or go to the running retailers that are in the area. And the two that I would look at most are Fleet Feet. There's a couple of locations in Chicago, and there's also Heartbreak Run Company in Lincoln Park. That's another place where they're going to have that Chicago Marathon gear, the official stuff. So those are the places that you can check out. Plus, then you can also check out some of the local run shops. We have some really good local retail here, so definitely worth checking out. The other thing is, if you need to stock up on anything, you can certainly get that stuff at the expo. But if you want to kind of also explore the Chicago running scene and check out some running retail, I think that Fleet Feet is probably kind of the biggest because they have multiple locations. They're going to probably have the most inventory of stuff kind of generally. Heartbreak Rum Company, I just feel like that's a place that I like to go hang out. It's more of a place I like to hang out than it is to actually buy stuff. But you can, of course, certainly buy stuff there. All right, now let's move on to the marathon itself. I mean, I think there's lots of stuff in like the athlete's packet and stuff like that. Read over that. I'm going to try to not be too redundant with that kind of stuff, but I will advise a couple of things. Get there a lot earlier than you think you're going to need to get there because of two reasons. One, security, and this year I think also with having to check to make sure everyone has their like vaccination wristbands. I think that security is going to take extra long this year, and so you don't want to have to like rush and like hit a crush of people and then like worry about being too late in line. Get there extra early and just like find a place to sit down and kind of hang out and just be confident that you're going to at least pass the security gate, because then after that, everything is relatively easy to kind of get through. But the other thing that's going to add a lot more time to the entire morning than you're expecting is that everything's kind of far apart. This is a giant area that's going to accommodate 35,000 runners this year. So that means that there's a lot of like walking that has to happen like in between spaces. So getting from the security gates to the point where your gear check is, to the point where your corral is going to be, like all that, there's just a lot of walking around. So you're going to want to have enough time just to get to everything. And also you definitely want to make sure you have enough time to use the bathrooms beforehand. They've gotten a lot better about adding enough porta potties before the race, but there's still always like a line. So you just want to make sure you do that because they do close the corrals early. They don't ever seem to list it in the athlete guide, like when the corrals are going to close. But they'll say like a certain number of minutes beforehand that like the corral or the corrals for wave 1 are closing in like 15 minutes or something like that. So like there's going to be time that you're going to need to like budget ahead of when the actual wave starts, that you're going to need to be in your corrals, and you don't want to have to like kind of rush to get in, because then there's a huge bottleneck. And sometimes some years what I've seen is people are like standing outside the gate, and as the corral starts to move through, then they can kind of move in with their corral. And like that for me would just really make me very frantic and anxious, and I don't think anyone really wants to do that. So plan extra time, just be there early, get there early. I'll be there early. Come say hi, we can hang out, we can chat. So like don't try and rush and get there at the last minute. Normally, I would say like taking public transportation is probably the most efficient way of getting to the marathon on marathon morning. I'm not sure how comfortable you guys would feel with public transportation. You're going to need a mask. Anywhere that's indoors, you're going to need a mask. Even inside tents for the marathon, you're going to need masks in those spaces. And you're going to need that for public transportation as well. But I think probably like taking an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi would probably be the best way. And don't try to be too cute about getting close. Like once you start hitting like a bunch of traffic, just get out and walk the rest of the way. It's going to end up being faster for you. And yeah, you'll be on your feet a little bit longer, but you'll be worrying a little bit less. At least that's how I would feel about it. So just plan on giving yourself plenty of time. And the more time you give yourself, the easier all of those things become. So it's kind of like, you know, there's multipliers involved. And so like, you're going to feel like, oh, I got here early for nothing. For me, that's like the perfect situation. So those are like my main tips. As far as like where spectators can go to see you running the race, there's many opportunities for people to be able to see you. I made a video about that last year, and I'll put a link to that down in the description down below, so you can see like where your family can come see you multiple times through the course of your race without having to run an entire marathon themselves. So there's lots of opportunities for family and spectators to be able to see you. In Chicago as a whole, we have indoor mask mandates. We've had it since late August. So anywhere inside that you want to go, you're going to have to wear a mask anyway. So it's something that you're going to need to have on your person, especially for spectators if you're going in and out of stores or coffee shops or anything else that they might be doing on race day. Now let's talk about some other stuff outside of the marathon that's I think is going to be super cool for you guys. This year, I think the two like companies that are like showing up the hardest for the Chicago Marathon are Heartbreak Run Company and Tracksmith. So I'm going to go over kind of like both of their like events kind of like serially, and then I'll talk about which ones of those that I'm going to be going to. And also I have a couple events as well that I'll talk about at the end. So first, let's talk about Heartbreak. Heartbreak Run Company is originally founded in Boston. So like their, I think, original store location is at the top of Heartbreak Hill, hence the name of the run company. They have a Chicago location as well. It's in a really cool location. And all of their events are going to be happening at or very near their store. So Friday, they've got one shakeout run at 4:30 p.m. with New Generation Track and Field. So you can join them for that at the store. Saturday, they're also going to have a shakeout run in the morning, 8:30 a.m. at the store. And then the key thing that I'm really excited about is on Sunday, they're having a pizza party over at Oz Park, which is a public park. It's going to be outside, which I'm excited about. And that's like across the street basically from the store there. So those are 3 events that I think are going to be super cool. Tracksmith is also having a whole bunch of events. They're putting on a pop-up at the Chicago Athletic Association, which is really, it's like across the street from where the Chicago Marathon is going to be. So super cool location, super cool hotel. The rooftop of that building has just an absolutely beautiful bar and restaurant area, by the way. But I think it's going to be on the ground floor. They have events going from Friday all the way to Monday. So Friday first, they have a race pack pickup. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it starts at 10 a.m. First come, first serve. They've also got Chris Chavez and Emily Abadi are also doing live streams. I think those are limited gatherings. They wanted to keep the group sizes small. I think both of those are already sold out. But those are some events that they're also hosting throughout the weekend. On Saturday, they are going to have a shakeout. I think that meets at the pop-up, so that meets downtown. So if your hotel is downtown, that's going to be real convenient for you at 8:30 in the morning. Sunday, they're having post-race beers. So I'm super excited about that. Starts at 10 a.m., of course, because we're runners. We like to start drinking in the morning. And I think it goes till 4 p.m. And then on Monday, they're going to have at 9:30 in the morning a Boston Marathon viewing party because, I mean, it's such a weird weekend, such a weird year. The Monday is a bank holiday in the United States. Well, it's not a bank holiday, but in the UK, you guys call it bank holiday, and I kind of like that term. So we'll call it a bank holiday on Monday. Everyone's going to have the day off in Chicago, and it's a day where usually everyone's kind of recovering from the Chicago Marathon because we usually have the Chicago Marathon the day before that Monday that everyone has off. But this year on that Monday, we're going to have a marathon to watch. So that's super cool. So that's an event that starts at 9:30 a.m. at the pop-up. So that's Tracksmith. Now let's talk about the events that I'm going to do. The one event in person that I'll be doing is I'm going to be doing a shakeout run myself starting at 8 a.m. at the Chess Pavilion. I passed the Chess Pavilion and some of the footage you saw today, and we'll run kind of down along the route where you saw a lot of the footage from today's video, but we'll keep going downtown instead of turning around like I normally do for my out and back run. Keep going downtown and we'll end at the Bean and we'll finish with a photo op there. It's going to be about a 3-mile run. I'll probably be running at about 9 minutes 30 seconds per mile for the 3 miles. Hopefully, if there's some other locals that are going to be in attendance that want to go faster, you can go with those guys. They'll know exactly how to get there. And I'll be posting out some more information, some more details. I've already posted some on Twitter and on Instagram, but I'll post even more as we get a little bit closer. But that's the one in-person event that we're going to be having. The other thing that I'll be doing is something that I wish I could do in person. I didn't feel comfortable doing a big indoor in-person gathering. So instead it's going to be virtual, but I'm going to be doing some live streams on Friday at 3 p.m. local time. I'm going to be bringing in Dr. Josh. What up, fam? He's going to be coming in and he's going to be talking about his prep, some of his goals for the Chicago Marathon. So we're going to talk to him. And then after that, at 4 p.m. local time, I'm going to be bringing in Emily Heller. I'm pretty sure she's not bringing Ruby the dog with her from the East Coast, but we're going to bring her in and we'll do a live and we'll talk about some of her goals for running the Chicago Marathon. So those are 2 events that, ideally I would have loved to have had them either at my local favorite pizza place or at one of the running stores, but I personally didn't feel like, gathering everybody in an in-person indoor setting. So hopefully you guys will tune in for the virtual live stream versions of that. All right. With all that being said, let's put together what my weekend schedule is going to be like for the Chicago Marathon in case you want to go to the events that I'm going to or meet me at any of these places. So Friday, I'm going to hit the expo right away. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay there. I'm going to try to be there kind of as short as possible. I love expos. I just don't love them when I have to race a marathon the next day. So I'm not going to be there for very long. I do have to take a couple of photos while I'm there for a project that I'm working on. But then after that, I'll be heading over to Tracksmith at the pop-up there and doing the race pack pickup. And so I'll be there early Friday morning, hopefully right around 10, but more likely probably around 11-ish or so. And then I'll be doing the live streams Friday at 3 with Josh and then Friday at 4 with Emily. And that's pretty much going to be it for me for Friday. Saturday morning, I'll be doing my shakeout run at 8 a.m. at the Chess Pavilion. And then we'll run downtown, and then we'll hang out, do lots of photo ops, and I'll love to be able to talk to more of you guys afterwards there, and we can kind of just hang out for as long as people want to hang out on Saturday. After the shakeout on Saturday morning, I'm pretty much just going to like kind of wrap up on all the work that I need to do in terms of videos that I need to make, and just try to relax as much as I can all day. Marathons, especially the Chicago Marathon, there's usually so much going on that I feel like I kind of like wear myself out before the marathon. So I really just want to try to take it easy on Saturday. Sunday will be the race. I'll be there super early, so come and say hi, even if I got my earbuds in. Nothing gets me more excited than to be able to meet you guys, especially when you guys are traveling so far to run these races. So I would love to say hi to you guys. I believe I'll be in Corral A, or maybe around in Corral B, but before I have to get in the corrals, I'll either be warming up or just kind of like finding a place in the grass somewhere to sit down and relax as much as possible. After the race, I will definitely hang out for a bit afterwards. There's like the 27.2 zone where there's going to be the post-race beers and all that kind of stuff, like the family reuniting area, that kind of thing. So I'll be definitely hanging out. Probably you'll find me by the beer tents if you're looking for me. I'll post more specific information like as the time comes so you guys can know where to find me if you guys want to connect there. And then after that, I'll be coming home, probably getting showered up and taking a nap. Definitely showering. Probably a nap. Hopefully I'll get to do both of those things. And then after that, I'll be going back downtown to go to the Tracksmith for some post-race beers. And then after post-race beers ends at Tracksmith at 4, that's when the pizza party starts at Heartbreak Run Club. So I'll be heading back that way, and that'll be kind of like on the way home for me anyway. So I'll be doing that. And then that ends at 7. Normally, in a normal year, 3 Run 2, one of the local run clubs here, throws the best Chicago Marathon party. It's in Logan Square, and it is just the most fun time. Everybody goes. It's just absolute fantastic time. I don't think that they're doing it this year. Super bummed that I won't be able to hang out with a lot of you guys then, but that always makes for like just a super fun way to end the evening. That's, for me, the lineup. I know there's a couple of other groups that are doing lots of other things. I'll be posting about that and sharing that. So in case any of the stuff that I talked about today isn't exactly what you like, I'll be posting stuff both in posts here on YouTube, but also on Twitter and Instagram. So check me out on those areas as well in case you want to get some more up-to-date last-minute stuff in terms of what's happening with all the variety of different brands and clubs and stores that are doing stuff for this gigantic party that we call the Chicago Marathon Weekend. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for you guys all to get here and for us all to get together again and run this race. It is my absolute favorite race, and I'm ready for it. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below, or better yet, feel free to stop by the live stream I do Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, and I'd love to talk to you guys in the chat. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are being safe out there on your runs and having a great taper, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?